Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the seventh Virtual Island Summit. I'm very happy to be here. My name is James Elsmore, and I am the CEO of Island Innovation. And if you're joining us for the first time this year, welcome to the Island Innovation community. I'm pleased to be supported this week by our fantastic Island Innovation team, working together remotely from 15 countries all around the world. And I can already see people introducing themselves in the chat. So please go ahead and do so. And there will be a poll coming onto your screen as well. So you can go ahead and fill out that poll. We'd love to know a little bit more about you. In the meantime, I can see in the chat people joining from Bahamas, from Portugal, from the US, from Hawaii. Oh, you're going too fast for me to keep up. Cameroon, Prince Edward Island, Bermuda. This is fun. Gran Canaria, Niue in the Pacific. Thank you for staying up late, those of you joining in the Pacific. From the UK, from the Maldives. Fantastic. You should be seeing on your screen a poll. If you can go ahead and fill out the poll, and we will be with you in a second. Papua New Guinea, Nigeria. While you're doing that, let me tell you a little bit about what you can expect this week. We're really excited for a week of diversity and inspiration from islands all around the world, showcasing how islands themselves are leading change and implementing solutions that can benefit themselves, but also the world at large. So we'll be journeying from the Arctic to the Caribbean, from the Mediterranean to the South Atlantic, across the Indian Ocean to the Pacific and beyond, and many, many more islands that I can't mention. Because islands, as you know, as many of you are islanders in this chat, come in many shapes and sizes. Every island is unique. And our approach is to learn from that diversity, but also learn about the commonalities and the shared challenges and the shared opportunities that those islands have. There is no one size fits all solution, but there are also many points of shared interest. So our philosophy at Island Innovation is that a circular economy solution in Fiji might be adapted and implemented in Bornholm in Denmark. A renewable energy concept that's trialed in Okinawa might inspire change in Tierra del Fuego. However isolated or disparate different islands might be, they can also learn from each other and share information. And so this week we have five core pillars that we'll be learning from. Sustainable economic development and investment. Secondly, climate resilience and energy transition. Thirdly, the blue economy and maritime innovation. Then governance, capacity building, and social development. And finally, digital innovation and connectivity. So five very different topics. I'm not sure what happened with the poll, so apologies for that. We'll have to do that in the next one instead. It doesn't seem to be appearing on screen unless Christian, you can try and fix that. But in the meantime, I will keep going. So we have those five different pillars, as I have mentioned. Each of those will be explored during the week. With so many sessions, we don't expect that most of you, maybe a few of the most committed, will be able to join all of them. So try and pick those which work for your time zone and you think appeal most to your interest. But of course, all sessions will be recorded and will be available. We'll be sharing on social media, different updates. So do keep an eye out on our different channels for some highlights throughout the week. And of course, every day in our inbox, you will be in your inbox, you'll be getting a summary of what to expect for the day ahead. So in today's session, we will have some addresses from some island leaders joining from different parts of the world. And then we will also go to hear some updates about some of the work that Island Innovation is involved with and what you can expect in the year ahead from our work. So it's going to be a great way to kick off the week And of course, we will look forward to seeing you in some of the other sessions during the next few days. It's a packed week. That being said, I would like to now invite our first speaker to join us. I'm delighted that we have a video submitted by the Honorable Mike Eman, the Prime Minister of Aruba, who joined our very first Virtual Island Summit 7 years ago as a keynote speaker and is now back to share his vision for Aruba. So with that, we will introduce the video from Prime Minister Eman.
Windmills are not a modern concept. They have been with us for ages. Today, as I'm standing here from the Netherlands, having a commitment with the Virtual Island Summit, I find it very important to still comply with the request of the summit to share with you, based on our vision, what we feel at this moment is so important with regard to our pathway to sustainability. Aruba is committed to this pathway, and during my previous administrations, we have focused very much on clean energy. Aruba pioneered the entrance of large-scale windmills, large-scale solar panels, and we had the last couple of years a pace of finding out how these work, and now we have another set of ambitions in order to become an island that will be totally based on wind and solar energy in a very short period of time. It is within the concept of sustainability that we are also looking at how tourism develops in Aruba. We have a big challenge. We have an island that grew very fast, and lately we have felt the pinch of tourism growth within many sectors in Aruba, both on nature as on our culture. So I'm very pleased to announce also at this virtual summit that last Friday we arranged, together with all the stakeholders in the tourism accommodation sector, a commitment to go and invest in the next couple of weeks an effort to create a sustainable tourism path for the future of Aruba. All parties agree that in the next couple months we have to come to an agreement in which we will find both the common interests of the tourist industry, but also the well-being interests of our society, where we create a harmonious development between tourism, economic growth, and the protection of our nature, the recovery of many aspects of our nature, and also the authenticity of the Aruban culture. It is very important that at this moment of reflection in this summit, that we also carry with us some great moments of reflection with regard to where the world stands. We are living in difficult times. We see a lot of polarization. We see fault lines because of difference of opinion, because of different ideology. It is important that when we reflect on such an important thing as where we will be going from here, that we also recognize that with regard to our bigger vision of the future of our countries and our islands, that our goal to create a sustainable society could also be the guiding star for us to gather together, overcome the fault lines that we have, overcome the tension that we have in our nations, because we find a common goal in the sustainable development of our islands and country. It is very important that during these days in the summit, you also find within yourself and find within your organizations the commitment to create a pathway for this type of understanding. Standing here at a very important historical site of the Netherlands, I share with you this sentiment. I share with you the values that we also share around the world with regard to how we would like to see the development of our countries, with regard to technology, with regard to every aspect of society, where we can find social cohesion within our common good. I find that this moment creates a special opportunity for all of us to gather together around great ideas, great concepts. So I wish you all at this summit a lot of success, a lot of profound moments of reflection, but most of all, a lot of profound moments of friendship together for a better future for our countries and islands.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister Iman, for that intervention. Something from that background tells me that you weren't in Aruba when you filmed that. I think you mentioned you're on a trip to the Netherlands this week, and so appreciate you taking the time out of your weekend to make that video intervention because we know that Aruba has many goals and is going through some interesting times in, as you mentioned, balancing its tourism industry with its financial situation and many others. So we look forward to joining you in Aruba next year to learn more about the work that you have underway. Now, staying in the Caribbean, I would next like to introduce our next speaker, who is Andre Ebanks, the Premier of Cayman Islands, who was elected as Premier earlier this year, but is also a returning speaker to the Virtual Island Summit, who spoke in a previous role a few years ago. So, with that, we will share the intervention from Premier Ebanks about the situation of the Cayman Islands when it comes to climate, sustainability, and economic development.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished colleagues, friends, it is an honor to join you virtually at the Virtual Island Summit 2025. And I thank Island Innovation, our moderators, and my fellow speakers around the world for coming together to share solutions. While sources vary on how many countries in the world are considered sub-national island jurisdictions, we know that our summit's theme, From Islands to Impact, perfectly captures the opportunities that we have to help maintain our climate and to protect it locally and globally. Today, I'm proud to share 3 approaches from the Cayman Islands that are turning our climate ambitions into action. These approaches are improving the well-being of our people and also uplifting several of the UN SDGs. Equally important, these stories become part of the body of knowledge that SNIJs share to strengthen our climate actions. The first approach I'd like to share is about how the Cayman Islands is translating climate commitments into tangible local initiatives with global relevance. In September last year, we adopted our climate change policy, a 26-year roadmap for resiliency and low carbon transition that includes actions ranging from coastal setback reassessments to sargassum management. This policy is already influencing how our infrastructure providers plan, how our ministries manage risk, and how our country thinks about resiliency. Complementing our climate change policy is our national energy policy, a 20-year plan that includes bold but achievable goals such as 100% renewable energy by 2045. Importantly, this policy also enshrines the right of our people to self-generate renewable energy, a major step towards energy democracy. These and other policy frameworks in the Cayman Islands support tangible results, such as our Resembled Energy Efficiency Program, funded by the EU. We have retrofitted 10 homes and performed energy audits on 13 public buildings, including schools and even our Parliament building. Some of our families saw monthly bills drop by up to 70%. This program was recognized by the Caribbean's Best Energy Efficiency Project Award 2025. And to ensure our investments are guided by evidence, the EU's Green Overseas Program is funding a national resiliency scorecard for the Cayman Islands, a decision tool that will shape our public and private climate investments for decades to come. Our work to translate climate commitments into tangible local initiatives that have global relevance supports SDG 7 on affordable and clean energy, SDG 11 on sustainable cities and communities, and SDG 17 on partnerships for the goals. Next, the Cayman Islands is recognizing the importance of collaboration and partnerships, extending internationally and even within our government in advancing practical solutions and sharing best practices. We're now finalizing our government AI policy, which is being reviewed by international partners like the World AI Council. By using AI to model risks, manage resources, and plan for climate resilient future, our intention is to make government more efficient and prepared. And our digital ID program, inspired by models like those in Estonia, will make trusted information available for local decision making. Moreover, it will cut reliance on paper, reduce waste, reduce travel for services, lowering emissions, and help ensure our residents can access government services even in disaster situations. By recognizing the importance of collaboration and partnerships, the Cayman Islands is again supporting SDG 17 and SDG 9 on industry innovation and infrastructure. Lastly, we are inspiring the Cayman Islands' next generation of leaders and communities to actively shape climate action and policy because none of our achievements and plans matter without people, especially our youth. Besides AI-related positions, government has also created junior positions in technology innovation and cybersecurity within our civil service. And our young Caymanians are delivering real results. They're digitizing health regulatory processes. They're developing digital tools for the police that strengthen public safety. And they're enhancing government websites for accessibility. Beyond technology, we have invested in climate literacy and youth empowerment. Caymanian students take part in COP negotiations each year. Our high school climate and energy challenge has engaged students to design their own solutions. And we are embedding climate resiliency into schools and public campaigns, ensuring no one is left behind. And by inspiring the Cayman Islands' next generation of leaders and communities to take an active role in shaping climate action and policy, we're embracing SDG 13 on climate action, among others. Colleagues, we have many examples among SNIJs that island-led climate action is powerful and effective. From islands to impact, subnational island jurisdictions can turn ambition into outcomes and outcomes into global influence. And when we all share our challenges and achievements, we help a world that urgently needs to thrive within a changing climate. Thank you, and may God bless you as we work together for a resilient and sustainable future, not just for the Cayman Islands, not just for the Caribbean, but for the world. God bless.
Thank you, Premier, for that excellent intervention. And of course, this week, for those of you who might not be familiar with that term, SNIJs, Subnational Island Jurisdictions, we'll have a number of sessions discussing the recently launched Subnational Island Jurisdiction Coalition in partnership with the government of Curacao and the Special Envoy for Bonaire, Saba, and Statia that is being led through the Secretariat hosted at Island Innovation. So do join the sessions regarding SNIJs. Part of Island Innovation's mission is to support islands of all jurisdictional statuses. So that varies from small island developing states that are independent members of the United Nations, territories that we've heard from, Aruba and the Cayman Islands, but also local government and municipalities. And that brings us nicely to our next speaker. Moving continents, moving oceans, we'll go to Hawaii, and we have an address from the mayor of Kauai County, Derek Kawakami. And it's so important to look at all the different levels of governance when it comes to sustainable islands. So we'll hand over to the mayor.
Aloha. I'm Mayor Derek Kawakami. I want to thank Island Innovation and all of the organizers of the Virtual Island Summit 2025 for bringing together leaders and communities from across the globe. Even though I cannot be with you in person, I am honored to share this message from Kauai. Islands everywhere share unique challenges, from the rising impacts of climate change to the need for energy resilience and sustainable tourism. But we also share solutions. On Kauai, we work closely with our Kauai Island Utility Cooperative, community partners, and government agencies to achieve over half of our energy from renewable sources, with a goal of reaching 100% clean energy in the years ahead. These efforts are rooted in our belief that island communities can lead the way in innovation and sustainability. To everyone participating in this year's summit, thank you for the knowledge, collaboration, and aloha you bring to this global conversation. By learning from each other, we strengthen not only our islands, but the world we share. Mahalo and best wishes for a successful summit. Aloha.
Now, our fourth and final keynote intervention to kick off the Virtual Island Summit 2025 comes from a very special island for me and for Island Innovation, the hosts of next year's Global Sustainable Island Summit, which of course is Gran Canaria. So I'm delighted that we have an address from the president of the Cabildo, which is the island government of the island of Gran Canaria. This intervention is in Spanish, but we have subtitles that have been added in English for you to follow along. And we'll follow with some more information about how you can take part in that event next year. But it's my pleasure to introduce President Antonio Morales Méndez.
Queridos amigos y amigas de la cumbre virtual de islas Virtual Island Summit, es un honor dirigirme a ustedes en nombre del Cabildo de Gran Canaria en esta séptima edición de un encuentro que se ha consolidado de la mano de Island Innovation como una cita anual imprescindible para el mundo insular. El Virtual Island Summit ha demostrado que, aunque separados por océanos, los territorios insulares podemos encontrarnos en un mismo espacio para dialogar, compartir y aprender juntos. Las islas compartimos retos similares: la vulnerabilidad energética, la dependencia de combustibles fósiles importados, la presión sobre nuestras costas, la escasez de agua y la amenaza de fenómenos climáticos extremos. Pero también compartimos una gran fortaleza: la capacidad de convertir nuestras limitaciones en laboratorios de innovación climática y energética que inspiran al mundo. Desde Gran Canaria hemos asumido esta visión a través del proyecto Ecoisla, que articula nuestra acción en varios ámbitos fundamentales: la transición energética hacia renovables y sistemas de almacenamiento para alcanzar la soberanía energética, la soberanía alimentaria que protege el territorio y el paisaje, reduce la huella ecológica y contribuye a la lucha contra los incendios, la movilidad sostenible que acerque la descarbonización a cada rincón de la isla, la gestión eficiente del agua y la economía circular para garantizar la seguridad hídrica, la protección de la biodiversidad y del territorio y el impulso a la investigación, la innovación y el conocimiento como base del cambio. Permítanme compartir con ustedes algunos ejemplos concretos de cómo llevamos esto a la práctica. Transición energética y comunidades energéticas. En Gran Canaria entendemos que la energía debe ser también un proyecto social. Por eso impulsamos comunidades energéticas como la del polígono de Arinaga, donde más de 30 empresas cooperan en una instalación fotovoltaica con almacenamiento que reducirá emisiones y costes al tiempo que fortalece el tejido empresarial local. Almacenamiento y seguridad energética. Sabemos que las islas no pueden avanzar hacia la descarbonización sin sistemas firmes de almacenamiento. Salto de China, nuestra central de hidrobombeo, será la columna vertebral para integrar más renovables, mientras que proyectos de baterías distribuidas en espacios como el Jardín Botánico Canario en zonas industriales ya nos permiten garantizar resiliencia y continuidad energética. Movilidad eléctrica. La transición debe ser inclusiva y llegar a todos los territorios. En Gran Canaria estamos desplegando una red insular de recarga que alcanzará las 100 estaciones de carga en 2026, muchas de ellas vinculadas a plantas fotovoltaicas y sistemas de batería. Esto permitirá no solo descarbonizar la movilidad, sino también integrar la generación renovable en el transporte y asegurar que la energía limpia esté disponible para toda la ciudadanía en la ciudad, en los barrios y en los espacios naturales. Adaptación al cambio climático. El cambio climático golpea con fuerza en las islas. Estamos respondiendo con innovación basada en la naturaleza, en la costa, con el proyecto LIFE Costa Adapta desarrollamos arrecifes charcos de marea que protegen el litoral de la erosión y del aumento del nivel del mar. En Maspalomas, proyectos como Natalí y Masduna restauran ecosistemas costeros únicos y refuerzan su resiliencia. Y en las cumbres, el proyecto LIFE Niebla aprovecha el agua de la niebla para reforestar y recuperar paisajes degradados, aumentando la biodiversidad y capturando carbono. En economía azul, las islas no solo miramos al cielo y al sol para producir energía, también miramos al mar como fuente de futuro. En Gran Canaria contamos con un ecosistema único. La Plataforma Oceánica de Canarias, PLOCAN, que impulsa investigación y ensayos en energías marinas, la plataforma Bioasis, que conecta innovación y emprendimiento en biotecnología marina y acuicultura, y el Banco Español de Algas, un centro de referencia internacional en biodiversidad y bioproductos marinos. Todo ello nos permite avanzar hacia una economía azul sostenible que crea empleo de calidad, diversifica nuestra economía y refuerza la resiliencia de nuestros océanos. Ciencia, innovación y geotermia. Nuestro trabajo se apoya en un ecosistema científico y tecnológico de primer nivel. El Instituto Tecnológico de Canarias, ITC, y la Universidad de Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, que desarrollan conocimiento aplicado en energía, agua y sostenibilidad, y exploramos nuevas fronteras energéticas con Gran Canaria Geotermia, evaluando el potencial de la geotermia profunda como recurso firme y renovable para garantizar seguridad de suministro en un sistema insular. Amigas y amigos, la cumbre virtual de islas es mucho más que un evento. Es la demostración de que la cooperación insular global es posible. Aquí compartimos buenas prácticas, debates y discusiones que nos ayudan a avanzar más rápido, evitando errores y multiplicando oportunidades. Quiero expresar mi agradecimiento a Island Innovation por la cooperación que mantiene con Gran Canaria y quiero anunciarles que en abril tendremos la oportunidad de encontrarnos de manera presencial en esta isla, en Gran Canaria, para seguir fortaleciendo estos lazos y proyectar juntos un futuro más sostenible para nuestras islas. Desde Gran Canaria queremos reafirmar nuestro compromiso de seguir participando activamente en esta comunidad global de islas. Como Ecoislas aspiramos a ser un referente en transición energética, economía azul y adaptación climática, pero sobre todo a aprender y cooperar con todos ustedes. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you, Mr. President of the Cabildo of Gran Canaria, for that excellent overview and the invitation to visit your beautiful island in April of next year. Our team had the opportunity to attend the Eco Islas conference earlier this year and visit on a number of occasions with our collaboration with the island. And it's really incredible to see the number of different projects and innovation around sustainability in energy, as was mentioned, but in a wide variety of fields that are happening. And we look forward throughout the week. We'll have a number of speakers from the private sector, from government, from NGOs, and universities in Gran Canaria joining different sessions during the week. So do keep an eye out for some of those speakers to learn more. And of course, we invite you to join us in person in Gran Canaria in April, the 20th through the 22nd of next year. Many of you will have attended this year in St. Kitts and Nevis in the Caribbean, or last year in Prince Edward Island in Canada. As you know, the Global Sustainable Island Summit moves to a different region each year, and it's really our goal to give attendees a sense of the island. So we work really closely with the local host to showcase what the island has to offer. In St. Kitts, it was the opportunity to travel through the island on a train and meet various different local vendors and see various different projects that were happening there. And in Gran Canaria, we'll be recreating some of those experiences to visit the island. There is a special discount available for anyone who would like to attend and is coming to the Virtual Island Summit. So keep an eye out in the emails or in the chat to get that discount. It's available until Friday, and we would encourage you to join. With that in mind, and after hearing from these four leaders representing the Atlantic, the Pacific, and the Caribbean, I'd like to turn to our own team to share some of the work that we've been doing with different islands and some of the real achievements that we have from the last year. So my colleague Grace, our Director of Sustainable Development, is going to kick us off. She was leading much of the work this year for St. Kitts and Nevis, the Global Sustainable Island Summit. So Grace, over to you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Grace Henry, the Director of Sustainable Development at Island Innovation, joining you from Jamaica. At Island Innovation, our mission is simple but powerful: to connect island leaders worldwide and create the platforms where governments, investors, and innovators come together to drive real change. This past year, our events have not just created conversations, but delivered concrete outcomes, funding commitments, and roadmaps that truly transform islands. One of the standout achievements was the third staging of the Global Sustainable Island Summit, held in May this year on the beautiful island of St. Kitts and Nevis. The summit featured 3 dedicated forums: the Island Youth Forum, spotlighting the voices and innovation of over 200 young leaders; the Geothermal Energy Forum, advancing renewable energy pathways for islands; and the first forum on access to climate finance for subnational island jurisdiction, which explored practical place-based climate solutions, and also where we announced the establishment of the SNIJ Climate Coalition, a dedicated platform to address the critical gap in global climate action for SNIJs. The coalition will provide a framework for ongoing partnerships and advocacy, recognizing the diverse needs of different jurisdiction types. Alongside these, a series of sponsor-led side events added depth and real-world impact to the discussions. We also produced a post-summit GSIS magazine, recapping the outcomes, highlighting experiences, and featuring key insights and reflections from the summit. Now, looking ahead, we're excited to share that GSIS 2026 will be held in Gran Canaria. In a closing message at GSIS this year, Raul Garcia Brink, Counselor for Environment, Climate, Energy, and Knowledge, reminded us that for too long, Macaronesia has been underrepresented in global island conversations, despite their rich biodiversity, renewable energy innovations, and their strategic position as a bridge between Europe, Africa, and the Americas. He also emphasized the island's commitment to highlighting its unique contributions while continuing the tradition of collaboration that GSIS has built. After such a successful event in St. Kitts and Nevis, the bar is set high, but we're confident that the Global Sustainable Island Summit 2026 will be another landmark moment. And of course, the Virtual Island Summit itself remains a highlight, connecting thousands of participants across every time zone, breaking down barriers, and ensuring that every island, no matter its size or location, has a voice. This week's proceedings, the 7th edition of the Virtual Island Summit, have gotten the support of clients, partners, and sponsors, including Cabildo de Gran Canaria, the Edge Foundation, Caribbean Energy Chamber, Caribbean Biodiversity Fund, St. Lucia National Conservation Fund, and many others. GSIS themes are woven throughout the agenda, and you can expect sessions including strategic mines tourism, charting a pathway to a geothermal future, from islands to impact, how subnational island jurisdictions are advancing practical climate action toward COP30. Together, these conversations will showcase how islands are innovating, building resilience, and shaping global sustainability strategies. We're also proud to partner with our clients on two impactful sessions: the Marine Health Alliance, advancing community-driven marine conservation in St. Lucia and the Caribbean with the St. Lucia National Conservation Fund, and financing island futures, knowledge and innovation for resilience, sustainability, and prosperity with the Caribbean Biodiversity Fund. I am looking forward to seeing you all at the colorful array of sessions happening this week. And before I close, I encourage you to use the link in the chat to secure your discounted tickets for GSIS 2026 in Gran Canaria.
Thank you so much, Grace, for that overview and for all the work you and your team did in making the GSIS this year happen. It was a truly fantastic event, and I can see there are some people here in the virtual audience who were there in person with us in St. Kitts and Nevis. So look forward to many of you joining us again in Gran Canaria, as was mentioned. And I hope that many of you got to catch those connections to some of the topics that were mentioned. Also, to this week's agenda, we have sessions coming up on MICE, meetings, incentives, conferences, and events, and how they can fuel development opportunities for islands. Geothermal, of course, a big topic from Nevis to Gran Canaria. And as has been mentioned several times, subnational island jurisdictions and their access to financing opportunities. So all of these topics connect directly to the agenda here and the Global Sustainable Island Summit and the various other initiatives that Island Innovation is running. So Grace has showed you some of the impact over the last year, and now I'd like to invite my colleague Ariana Abdul Noor to come on screen, our Sustainable Development Manager. Ari is going to share a bit about how we are putting some of this expertise directly into the hands of different island professionals worldwide and opportunities for you all to participate, how that relates to some of the great work you've been doing, Ari, with capacity building over the last year.
Thank you very much, James. And it's great to see so many faces or names rather in the chat, some familiar, some new. As James mentioned, I lead on some of the capacity building programs at Island Innovation. And over the years, we've seen how island stakeholders, from government officials and civil society to students and entrepreneurs, are eager for practical, high quality learning opportunities. So here comes the Sustainable Islands Masterclass course. Strategies, Finance and Leadership for Innovation was developed to fill this gap, providing capacity building, knowledge exchange, and global access to tools and networks that help islands thrive. The masterclass builds on the experience of programs such as the Caribbean Climate Justice Leaders Academy, which has trained emerging climate leaders across the Caribbean, equipping young people from multiple islands with skills in climate policy, advocacy, and project implementation, and connecting them with global mentors and peers. It also draws on lessons from the Irish Marine Institute's Our Shared Ocean course. I see that our partner David is in the chat, which engaged early career marine professionals from Ireland and coastal nation in hands-on learning about ocean science, marine policy, and sustainable management practices. Both initiatives have impacted hundreds of participants, fostering tangible projects and leadership opportunities that both advance climate resilience and sustainable ocean stewardship. The online program that we're launching covers key themes for sustainable island development, from climate resilience and circular economy to policy, communications, finance, and leadership. It is aimed at island leaders, practitioners, and future change makers. Participants will benefit from insights shared by a distinguished lineup of speakers, including Dr. Pep Badoui, an expert in climate finance with notable experience in the Bridgetown Initiative, Kumi Naidu, a global advocate for human rights and environmental justice with leadership experience in organizations like Amnesty and Greenpeace International, Martin Koering, an ocean and finance specialist with extensive experience in sustainability, climate change, and natural resource finance at organizations such as UNEP and the World Ocean Initiative at The Economist Impact. We also have Angelique Pompineau, a lawyer and former CEO of Seychelles Conservation and Climate Adaptation Trust, representing the Alliance of Small Island States. And last but by no means least, our very own James Elsmore, founder and CEO of Island Innovation, who, to say the least, has a breadth of experience supporting island-led solutions to global challenges. By the end of the program, participants will have gained practical, actionable skills that they can apply directly in their work, including climate adaptation and resilience planning, designing projects and policies to protect island communities and ecosystems from climate impacts, circular economy strategies, finance and funding navigation, and leadership and advocacy. They'll also learn how to design projects and implement them into their islands. Participants will also access case studies from across our global network, learn from a peer exchange, and connect with mentors and collaborators worldwide, ensuring that the knowledge gained can be translated into tangible, island-specific solutions. So, how does this complement our mission at Island Innovation? This masterclass builds directly on Island Innovation's aim of connecting islands and coastal regions with sustainable solutions. It strengthens our global network and ensures that knowledge gained through our summits, our forums, and our client projects are accessible and, most importantly, scalable. We're inviting all of you to register and share this opportunity to bring the Sustainable Islands Masterclass to as many island stakeholders as possible. Whether you're looking to upskill your team, sponsor scholarships, or integrate this training into your programs, we'd love to collaborate with you. So sign up today to secure your place and join a global network of island leaders driving sustainable change. I look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ari, and thank you for all the hard work that you've put into building the curriculum for this course. I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for people to get a deeper knowledge and a more structured way to approach some of the topics we're talking about this week as well. And as you mentioned, we have some incredible guest masterclass leaders who will be sharing with us their expertise. So I think anyone would really encourage you to look into it if you're interested in learning more about these topics. It is a bit of a commitment over 8 weeks, but it's for people looking to get a bit deeper into some of the topics that were mentioned this week and learn more about opportunities for building sustainable development and practical tools for their islands. So if you do have any questions, Ari, maybe you can drop your email in the chat as well and they can get in touch. And the link is there in the chat as well. And I hope that the diversity of the people in this conversation here will be reflected. I'm sure it will be in the participants as well. And I know that a big value in these programs, as the previous ones that we've run, as was mentioned through the support of the Government of Ireland and the Open Societies Foundation, a big value was with the networking of the other course participants as well. I think that's a critical element. So thank you so much, Ari and Grace, for those overviews of some of the things that are going on in the Island Innovation community. I just wanted to share a few more points before we wrap up and give a bit more of a preview of what to expect for the week ahead. So we have, as I'm sure you've seen, some amazing sessions coming up. Make sure that you spend some time looking through the agenda, which is now in detail on the website. You can see all the different speakers that are assigned to different sessions, and we've really made an effort to get as much diversity as possible, not just from different island regions, but also a gender balance, also having representation from government, from the private sector, from university, academic research, and civil society. what I would ask all of you to do, don't get overwhelmed by the number of sessions. It is a lot, and you all have busy lives, I'm sure. So maybe take 3 or 4 sessions that you can put into your calendar and commit to attending this week. Have a look and really put a spotlight on 3 different sessions that you think, okay, I want to commit to over the course of this week. And that is really a good opportunity for you to think about which of the topics, of the many different topics that all of which I'm sure are relevant to your work and your islands, can you learn more about. Secondly, if you're working on any projects like this that need specialized support, do reach out to us. Our consulting team has a great network and is a great expertise on these different island challenges. And we love to collaborate on different projects. We've also developed recently Island Innovation EU, which has really built our expertise in accessing EU funding, for example, on island projects. And we're looking to build out our collaborations there on applying and building proposals for funding specifically to attract funding for island communities. Thirdly, consider the course that Ari has mentioned. I think that the course is a great opportunity to build professional skills or recommend someone in your team or on your island that could benefit from building those kind of skills. We are looking forward to making this a key pillar of Island Innovation's work. And so over the course of the year, this will be the first of several qualifications that we'll be launching as part of our capacity building expertise. So check that out. And of course, think about joining us in April for Gran Canaria, because all of the excitement that you're getting virtually now, you're seeing in the chat. Just imagine what that's like in person. Those of you who've attended who've attended the in-person summits know that the buzz that is there and the opportunities and the spirit of collaboration, which hopefully you're already seeing from the Island Innovation community, from the conversations this week, is just something that is irreplaceable when you are in person. To be able to do this kind of work, we know that relationships are really important. And this virtual platform, I really believe, does so much for sharing inspiration, sharing opportunities. But a lot of the implementation comes out of actually meeting in person, seeing projects on the ground, and understanding how those can be implemented. And some of the most impactful partnerships that we've seen have started with a connection that's been made in one of our virtual events, has been built and deepened at an in-person event or opportunity, and has sprung into something that has really developed out of that. So thank you all so much for being a part of this community. It's going to be a really fantastic week ahead. Look forward to seeing you in different sessions throughout the week, and would encourage you 2 hours from now to join the next session focused on island education going digital. And that's with our returning sponsor, the Edge Foundation, which every year organizes a fantastic session about island education opportunities. So with that, we'll say thank you all for everyone who has participated in the chat. I'm going to have to go back and read all of these messages and just get a full understanding of who all is here, because there's been so many messages coming through. I love the enthusiasm. And don't make this the only session you're joining. So if you can't make the education session, later on in the evening, it's 11 p.m. for me, so maybe it's late for some of you, but we'll have more attendees from the Pacific. We also have a really good session with a minister from the island nation of Kiribati in the Pacific, Ruth Kwansing, who will be talking about Kiribati's situation and specifically social protection programs, and looking at the role of building community resilience through social programs, which I think will be really exciting. And that will be moderated by my colleague Michaela Johnson from Trinidad and Tobago. So again, you're seeing how different island communities in different parts of the world, we're trying to build these bridges, build these connections. With that, thank you very much to all the speakers for the opening. We look forward to seeing you in the next session. Have a wonderful virtual island summit.